All right, here we are, the replay. Holy crap. I've got the replay of all replays for you. We used to call this the SuperCloser Show, okay? We're going to start calling this one Masterclass. What Erfan brings to you today is insane. If you were lucky enough to show up live, you know exactly what the energy that we had on that call was next to none. I think we had like 15, 16, 18 people watching live. I only invite usually a handful of you on. And it was insane, okay? And I'm going to tell you this. What you're about to see, for context, please do 3 things for me. 1, limit distractions. When I tell you that this is going to change your life, I absolutely mean this. I know all the guys and gals in the high-ticket space. I do not take notes from 98% of them. Erfan has single-handedly changed my entire financial life just because I've been through his trainings. I've taken his courses. I follow the man, and what he has to say is going to literally shift how you close those high ticket deals in one single phone call. So what you're getting into, what the replay is, I've taken the hour-long time that we had together, I've edited and truncated a little bit to just the highlights. A vast majority of this thing is the back half, the last half of a mock role play that we did, which I can't even, I'm not going to say another word. You just need to watch this thing. But number 1 is limit your distractions. Do not disturb mode is going to be your best friend. Number 2 is lean in and take notes. Okay. You know me as the leader, the talker guy, the face of SuperCloser, charismatic, handsome, amazing, humble, all of these things. When Erfan speaks, I only open these things and I shut this thing. Okay. I do not pretend to be the leader in the conversation that him and I have. I have enough wherewithal, awareness, enough respect to know when I need to be listening. And I hope that we can just sink into that student mode right now, but take copious notes. And then number 3, if you stick with us to the end of the video, I like giving away prizes and cash and bonuses. I've got a huge bonus for you, just for you if you stick to the end of the video. It's going to be pretty epic for you. So without further ado, let's get in. I might have a little bit of a montage here with some of the Q&A that we did, but regardless, sit back, relax, enjoy the show, take copious notes, lean in, pay attention, change your freaking life. Let's go. So if you're watching this, you must be watching the replay. Get ready for something crazy. This is going to be awesome. I'll be letting people in here in just a second, but again, to recap, what are we doing here? We have our weekly show, the SuperCloser Show. Which if you're seeing this, that means you're in the Facebook group, and we do this every single week. Okay. This week is very special. We're going to be introducing you to one of my good buddies, Erfan Riahi. He is one of the best closers I've seen. Makes incredible income. He does really well that way. And he's a great resource to learn from. So we're going to be diving into that here today. And this is live. Like, this isn't pre-recorded. I'm literally going to be bringing people in here in just a second. So just wanted to warm you up because you're watching the replay. Erfan is somebody that I have directly learned from. Okay. I've seen this man in action. One call closes left and right, left and right. I've given you a glimpse as to the income that he's created, the lifestyle that he's created. I'm going to let him kind of do more of the deep dive. Erfan, do us all a favor, man. Tell us what's up. Say hello. Give yourself a brief little intro here.
Absolutely. Again, thanks, Mike, for having me on this call. So I'm sure he's given you guys a little bit of an introduction of who I am. I mean, I've been closing for a long time. I've been on over 50,000 sales calls. I'm talking about one call close calls. So I've been at this game for quite a while. I'm obviously self-made, independent. I live in the Caribbean. I have a $5 million mansion. I mean, I'm not going to brag. I'm doing quite well. And I did it all just from closing deals over the phone. So I've closed a pretty good amount of deals over the phone. And it's good that Mike brought up one call closes, because that's the first thing I wanted to talk about today. Because I've been into a bunch of sales groups, and for some reason, it's not completely clear that as a closer, you need to be getting one call closes. I mean, if you're not getting one call closes, I'm quite sure that you guys all should know that it's a very low chance you will ever speak to those individuals ever again. So you should always be aiming for a one call close. You should not be like, oh no, it's okay. You can go think about it. It's okay. You can go talk to your wife about it. That's okay. No, it's not okay. If you want to be a part of the individuals who make 6 to 7 figures a year in sales, you need to be able to be a one call closer. And if you're having problems with being a one-call closer, most of the time it has to do with your mindset. So the biggest part of my training and the biggest reason why a lot of my closers and the individuals who listen to me have success is simply because I get their mindset in place. And that's also another reason why Michael over here had a lot of success as well, because he put his mindset in place when it comes to closing. You need to be completely okay with closing individuals in one phone call. And you have to have a structure so that at every part of the phone call, you don't feel lost. You should know exactly what to say next. You should know exactly how to respond to anything the client gives you. You should not be getting emotional over the call. You should not be ever feeling pissed off because of what a client says. You should never feel like discouraged because of something a client says that you can't close them. If the client says, oh, I don't have a lot of money, that shouldn't discourage you. Because the reality is, if an individual does want to work with you, they'll find the money. This is gold I'm going to drop here, which I've barely heard any closers other than Michael here and a couple of other guys that I know do this properly, where you can keep a consistent tonality throughout the whole phone call. Because what typically ends up happening is when a prospect asks you a question, most closers drop their pants or their tonality changes. Or when the script just goes slightly off script because of something a prospect says, most closers lose their way of what they're talking about, and their tonality is not as confident. And then for the whole rest of the phone call, they're just trying to get confident again, and then they get unconfident, they get confident, unconfident. So it's very important for you to be able to keep a very strong and confident tonality throughout the whole phone call. It needs to be very consistent. If you sound like something at one part and then you sound different at another part, the prospect is definitely not going to buy. Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, one of the big things that I always recommend doing is the day after you close the individual, you give them a call, see how they're doing, see if they've been able to make progress, so they don't end up wanting a refund. So there's no problem with having a continual relationship, but you will never make 6 to 7 figures or more if you're not closing on one call, unless you have some kind of a special deal, but you'll never be at top of the best if you don't close on one call. You just got to be able to close on one call. You will lose a lot of opportunities if you don't close on one call. Maybe you might get a few. You might be able to get a couple of deals here and there, couple of deals a week, maybe one deal a day. Good job for you. But if you want to make good money, you got to be able to close 2, 3, 4, 5 deals a day. If you want to make good money as a closer, you want to live independent lifestyle, you want to actually have money for yourself, for your family, whatever you want money for, you got to be able to close a deal in one phone call. It's just the way it is. I mean, I'm not going to try to convince you guys they need to close a call in one deal. In my opinion, a person, if you can't close a deal in one call, you're not a closer. You're more of a salesperson. And a salesperson is always going to sound salesy. Yeah, it's okay. Think about it. Come back to me tomorrow. It's okay. Yeah, you know what? I don't need the money today. I don't need the money tomorrow either. Maybe I need the money in a month. No. In order for the prospect, and also it's not just about you, by the way. A huge part of it has to do with the prospect, because if you don't do a good job at getting the prospect to join right then and there, you know what might happen? The next day, they might get on a call with another individual who might close them in one phone call. And not only have you lost the sale right there, but on top of that, that program that the prospect just got into might be a scam. So you might have let a prospect get scammed because you didn't close in one phone call. So you're doing yourself and the prospect disservice if you're not closing them in one phone call. That's the main thing I think about. I think about, okay, if this prospect doesn't start working with me and start like working with an individual who is genuine, who can offer good results, who else are they going to work with? They might end up getting scammed. They might end up not putting their money toward the right investment. They might not end up doing anything. They might lose money. Like so many negative things can happen if they don't get into the right program. Like they're on the call with you already. They were the ones that booked the call with you. So obviously your job here from here is to close them. That's what you're supposed to do as a closer. Because if you don't close them, then what are you supposed to do? I mean, I don't know, Michael, what do you think about that? Who wants to do role play? Okay. So yeah, Celia, yeah, sure. We'll do some role play, and obviously you can just pretend that you're an individual who is interested in insurance. Now, since I don't have much context about exactly what the program is, what type of insurance it is, and we have 30 minutes, we'll just kind of jump into it, and I'll just make
It's
some
health and life insurance.
health and life insurance. Okay. Yeah, so I'll just make some stuff up along the way in terms of the actual, the details of the program, but we'll just jump into it just so you can get an understanding of how I go about the closing process and how I go about it. Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
So ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, Celia.
Hi, how are you?
Doing good, Celia. This is Erfan. I'm the executive director at Health and Life Insurance.
How are you doing? Thanks for calling me.
Absolutely, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well.
Fantastic. So, Celie, how did you hear about us?
I actually found you guys online and I submitted a request to learn more information.
Okay. And have you had a chance to take a look at some of the content we've sent over to you?
I have a couple of questions about some of the plans that you guys have, but I definitely would like to know more.
Absolutely. And I'd love to answer all of your questions. But here's what we'll do to get us started since we only have 30 minutes together on this call. What I'll do to get us started is I'm going to start off by just asking you a couple of questions. And all I need from you today on this phone call is just going to be for you to be honest. And the reason why I'll ask you these questions is because what we do here is much different than the typical insurance companies, because we actually work directly with the client to figure out exactly what their needs are and deliver on that in terms of what they're looking for in terms of insurance. So that's why it's important for me to personally be the one getting on this phone call to make sure that anyone who does want to work with us, it's going to be a good fit for both of us first, and that we can help you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I also want you to know there's no pressure on the call. So if we have this conversation and maybe it's just not a good fit, or even if you just decide to say no, that's completely fine as well. And the only thing that wouldn't work for either of us, Celie, is if I do take both our times and I lay out everything you need to make a good decision. But then once we get to the end of this phone call, you just tell me that you need to think about it.
Okay.
Or yeah, or if you got like a partner involved in your financial decisions, it just makes sense for them to be with you here on the call so that they know what's going on and we're not just going back and forth. Can we agree on
Right.
that?
Yes.
All right, I do appreciate that. So now to get us started, I had a chance to read the questionnaire that you handed in, as you said. But since I don't know much else about yourself, why don't you just tell me a bit about your professional background and just a little bit about what you do right now?
Okay. I am a former law enforcement. I did that for about 10 years. I am a single parent and I'm just looking for something that covers my children and myself.
Okay. And what is it that makes you want to look for insurance? Do you not feel secure? Do you not feel like you can cover this yourself in terms of yourself and your kids? Or what is it that even gets you interested in insurance in the first place? No, fair enough. You probably want to do the opposite. You probably want to set them up with a legacy and security instead of setting them up with some kind of a burden.
Absolutely.
Right. Right. Now I'm getting where you're coming from. So when you say your children are young, just so I know for the sake of the insurance, how young are they?
They are still in elementary school. I've got one that's in first grade and one that's in fifth grade.
Oh, gotcha. So they're quite young. So they wouldn't even be able to get a job right now if anything happened.
Right. Yeah, I feel like it's not enough of a cushion.
Well, I mean, everybody has their own standard for life. So when you say it's not enough, what is it that makes you feel like it's not enough right now? All right. So yeah, Jake, so when you say it's not enough, I mean, everybody has a different standard for life. So what do you feel like it's not enough for exactly?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like I want to create a life, one that I enjoy, but also for my kids. Like, I don't want them to have to go through the stuff that like I've had to go through in my life. Like I've been grinding my whole life, and I'd love to leave them with a better future than what I got to do.
Right. Right. No, fair enough. Now I understand that you're in law enforcement and you've been doing it for 10 years. So was there something specific that made this more important for you to want to take action toward this now, or what's making this more important now after 10 years? Okay. Now you said, I don't know if this is a fit, which I agree with you. I'm still also trying to find that out. But let me ask you this. If at the, if this was exactly what you're looking for, if you feel good about moving forward with it, and it's literally what you've been looking for, would you be opposed to moving forward with it?
I'd probably have to figure out if I can get out of that current plan that I'm in. But I mean, I want the right type of plan. So figure out a way to make it happen.
Okay. So you would figure out a way to make it happen if this was exactly what you're looking for and if it was a good fit.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, I got a basic understanding of where you're coming from. So if you want, at this point, I can tell you a little bit about what this is all about, and then we can talk about some of the specifics and go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good.
Great. So our insurance company focuses on, of course, health, but not just on your health, but we also have plans that cover your entire family as well. We've been in the business for over 10 years at this point, and we did show you multiple examples and proof of where insurance did come in handy for a lot of our clients. Right. And that's not a problem. So assuming we could give you a plan that covers the 600K, do you think you'd be willing to take, 30 minutes out of your day here to fill out some paperwork that you'd need to do for your kids and also for yourself for us to be able to give you this kind of a protection?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what, like a one-time kind of paperwork thing?
Yeah. Yeah. You just need to be able to take 30 minutes, fill out some paperwork, and pretty much once you fill that out, we should be able to move forward from there.
Yeah, that's not an issue.
Okay. Fair enough. And also, how soon were you, because I know you said you're with another agency as well. So again, assuming this is what you're looking for, and I could give you this 600K worth of coverage, how soon would you want this? Like, is this the kind of thing you'd want? I mean, you wouldn't want it now, would you?
I mean, I want them to be covered as soon as as soon as possible. Absolutely, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that could definitely take place. And also, I understand you haven't necessarily worked with this type of an insurance company before, but based on the conversation that we've had now and the content you've seen from us, if you had to put a number on it, on a scale of say 1 to 10, how positive would you say you feel about having this type of coverage compared to the other stuff?
I guess, well, pretty good. I mean, I love the sound of it at some level, right? It'll probably have to fit into the budget, but like as long as that happens, I'm a 10, right? Because it sounds like we're hitting every other mark that I want.
Okay. Now, in the beginning of the process, you are going to be working directly with myself and obviously your staff. So do you think based on what you've seen and now speaking with myself, you feel comfortable about working with myself and our staff so far?
Yeah, so far. I mean, you've given me a ton of, direct attention, heard what I want and need. So I love that. I haven't really received that before. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I have absolute confidence that we do have a plan. I was actually just looking at my notes, and we do have a plan that fits exactly within what you're looking for. It's probably going to fit your budget as well, and it would cover the full 600K that you're looking for. So on my end, I feel absolutely positive about helping you out and helping you have this coverage that you need. And like I said, again, if this is something you did decide to move forward with, we both did want to work with each other, which I do want to work with you, then we would be able to help you move forward. So at this point, I'll really leave it up to you. If it's something that you do want to move forward with, from here, we would talk about the next steps. If you have questions, we can talk about that. It's up to you at this point.
Yeah. I mean, how much is it?
Sure, let's talk about that. So you don't mind if we go into the finances?
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay. So now, obviously, with what we do here, there is a service investment involved for us to be able to, speak to your current agency and set you up with this kind of a plan. So at the moment, do you have a budget set aside for working with an insurance company, whether it's us or whoever else?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, I'm on a plan, right? So definitely that. I can basically funnel whatever I'm currently spending into this, right? Especially if you can help me get out of contract and avoid any fees and all that kind of stuff, that'd be amazing. So I guess like, what does it cost? Or like, what's this plan going to be costing me?
Absolutely. So the way this plan works is we don't charge any kind of a monthly fee. So this plan is a yearly plan. So it's a yearly investment, and you'd be getting full coverage of the 600K for the whole year. Now the investment is $6,800, and I give a $1,000 discount if someone just decides to sign up with me on the phone call, because individuals who are good at making decisions, they always tend to be the most serious clients about their insurance and about their lives. And therefore they end up being the best clients. So that would make it 6,800.
Minus
Sorry,
1,000
5,800.
or,
Oh, sorry, 5,800 is what I meant. Yes.
oh, okay, cool. What's that per month? It's 5,800 divided by 12, it's 483 a month. I mean, I'm currently with the other plan at about 275 a month. So it's a little more expensive than, you know, the budget that I'm currently under.
Right. But also from my understanding, your current plan only covers one of your kids, does not cover you, and the budget is only for 200K in case something happens. And the span that this protects you for is only for 2 years, compared to our plan here, it's for 10 years. You mentioned you have young kids, and by the time this 1 year is up, they're not even going to be in school. So from what I understand, the whole reason you decided to get on this call with me is because this would probably make more sense for what you're looking for. Am I right, or correct me if I'm wrong?
Yeah. No, I guess you're right. And I mean, I it's kind of like it's less than double, but it does provide like triple the coverage. So I mean, that is pretty good. Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not here to push you into doing anything, but from what I understand and from what you've told me, this does make sense for you. And I mean, I really don't see why you'd be paying this amount that you're paying continuously if it's not covering your needs. So if you're going to be investing for your kids' health and for your own health, you might as well be putting it toward the right thing that actually covers you guys. Don't you think that would make logical sense?
It would. So like with this right here, you said it's kind of like a yearly thing. This, you know, I don't know if I have necessarily like 5,800 in my bank account right now. I know it's kind of embarrassing. But if I was, you know, if I wanted to move forward with this, is that something that is there any way to like figure out that beyond just like right on this call?
Well, first, let's talk about if you even want to even move forward with this, if this is something you want to do and if you're serious about it. Let's talk about that first.
I think it makes sense. Yeah, it does for sure. I just need to figure out how to make it work financially. But yeah, no, it makes sense. And I think it would be for the best for sure.
Okay, so does that mean it is something you want to do and the only issue is the finances?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Jake, your voice is cutting in and out there. Can you say that one more time?
Yes.
Okay. So if the problem is only the budget, so here's the deal. The way that we work, it is 5,800 up front. That's the way that we work, because we do provide quite exceptional coverage for a very small fee. I mean, 5,800 compared to $600,000 for 10 years. I mean, I would say it's, you know, it's a pretty good deal. So generally it is a one-time investment, but if your only problem is budget, if we can go through some options that might fit within your budget or that might work for you, do you think that that would make a difference or not really?
Yeah. I mean, what are the options? I think that like if we can figure out how to make it work, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah, sure. So typically what a lot of our clients do is, especially because they have income coming in, is they usually just use credit to be able to get access to this insurance so that they don't lose this opportunity. And then they just pay off their credit. So do you have the option of using a credit card?
I definitely don't have a credit line of $5,800. So that's something that I'm working on, but not at the current moment.
I see. So how do you think we can make this a reality?
Well, I could probably do something like 2K today. Is there any way we could like do it over the next couple months to like move it along, but also like you know, I know you need to get paid, but I just don't have all the money right now.
Well, it's not just about me getting paid. It's also about you being able to take advantage of this as well.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you'd be able to do 2K and you'd want to figure out a way where we can split up the rest. Is that what you're saying?
Is that possible?
Let me just see. So 2K. Okay. And if this is something I can take you up on, would you be able to move forward with the first 2K right now?
Yeah. I think it makes sense. It's the right fit.
And then did you want to put the 2K on like a Visa, MasterCard, or Amex?
I've got a Visa.
Okay. So yeah, I can take you up on that. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and read out the card number. So I guess that's
Jake,
it.
read your credit card number out loud for everybody, please.
Can I give you my social security instead? Yeah, I've actually got this. I've got the same question as Steven real quick. The whole I'm cutting out there, did you use that as a double commitment or was it actually cutting out?
I use it as a double commitment.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I wanted you to say yes again.
Guys and gals, I mean, if you wanted to learn exactly how to close in one 45-minute, 60-minute call, this is how it should feel in that structure. There's no additional pressure, didn't force them to do anything, but by the end made a plan that made nothing but sense for that prospect to move forward. Micro commitments all the way. I love the double tie down with the voice cutting in and out. All of that adds up to making insane commissions, right? The one thing I hear from everybody here every single day is, how do I make more? How do I close more? How do I close X, Y, and Z, objection? And you just saw the masterclass here. So Erfan, bro, from me to you, I 100% appreciate the time that you've dropped here. You didn't ask, and I'm gonna just do this myself. I know that you have something that you've put together that's kind of private to your audience. Are you open to sharing a little bit about what you've put together? Because I think these guys need exactly, and I think you know what I'm talking about. They need more Erfan in their lives.
Yeah, I mean, like if you're talking about training, I absolutely do help closers. I mean, that's closing is all I do. So I do have a course that I put together over the past 5 years that I've just been updating it. And pretty much the course, it covers my closing process. It covers the script that I use. It covers how I handle objections. And for you guys, obviously, I'm assuming everybody here is a closer in one form or another, or you're closing for something. You're in sales in some sort. That's why you're here. So that means the more you close, the more money you make, which means your only focus and job right now should be become a better closer. And I have exactly what we need to become a better closer. So I do have a course that covers exactly how I do things, that goes over my call recordings. I break down my call recordings. I have a bunch of call recordings on there that I close anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 deals in one phone call. And I also have a bunch of training there that I have gone through with closers. So if you guys do happen to give a fuck about improving your closing rate, I can drop the link. Okay, well, there you go. Michael already dropped it. So that is the link if anyone wants to join it. It's pretty cheap. You can pretty much make that back in like 1 or 2 closes. And if you guys want to join that, great. And I'll also be directly in contact with you if you join it. So you can ask me any questions as well. So yeah, if you guys want to get it,
yeah,
it's an option.
My question is, do you help with as far as because I've done appointment setting. Do you help with finding people to close for, as far as with your training program?
Yeah, so 2 things. So what I do in this course is I do tell you my process of how to get a client, how to close a client. It's a very simple and easy process. In my opinion, it's the best way. So I do have a full video that is dedicated to just how to get a client if you wanted to get a client for yourself. But yeah, for individuals that are serious about looking for a closing gig, what I also do is anyone that wants to work with me, because I work with a bunch of different influencers, and I also work with a program called Keystone. It's an 8-figure company that we run that we have 5 closers for, and we're always growing that. So if anybody did want to join that, I would have to personally mentor them to make sure that they can handle the leads that we give them. It's a $6,800 program where what you'd be closing is a $6,800 program. And yeah, I mean, if an individual does go through my training and then I personally mentor them and they're good, I would just personally hire them myself because I need closers all the time. We have a lot of leads, and especially right now. But if you didn't want to work with me, if you just want to know how to get clients, in this course that I have up there, I do teach you a good strategy of how to get clients as well.
Did I tell you, or did I tell you? I'm going to tell you again. Erfan is a freaking legend, verified legend. So I hope you took copious notes. I hope that feels like it's going to change the trajectory of how you close forever. And I hope nothing more than it to be incredibly and insanely valuable for you. So let's talk bonus time. You made it here. Congratulations. Okay, so you kind of heard us talk a little bit about Erfan's course. I'm going to tell you, I went through the course when it was a lot more expensive, more than worth it. I would have paid 10 times the amount, 100%. But you heard us talk about it, and you would have not seen access to the link. You know, it is below here. But here's the big bonus. You probably skipped ahead. You probably scrolled down. I get it. But I'm going to offer you our SuperCloser Academy membership at zero cost to you ever for anybody that jumps into Erfan's course content, which is dirt cheap, and you send me a screenshot of your receipt. Just send me a screenshot, send me a DM on Facebook or Instagram or wherever we play, and I will get you into SuperCloser Academy for free forever. That gives you access to additional trainings. So we have our course, that's a mini course in there. You have bi-weekly calls with yours truly, so I can support you in your closing endeavors. And the massive cherry on top, for the SCA members, they are first in line for our multiple six-figure closing roles. Okay, these are closing roles, coaches that are coming to me saying, hey, we've got a multiple seven-figure offer, right? We need another closer to take on a full load of calls and make anywhere from 20, 30, 50 grand a month. These are opportunities that we only bring to SCA members. I want to give that to you for zero cost for anybody that picks up Erfan's course, okay, which is way less expensive than the SCA membership. Right now, the SCA membership is $4,800. Okay, that's a massive gift that I want to give to you. Why am I doing that? Because I want to put the exclamation point on my claim that his content will change your freaking life. And selfishly, if you go through his content, I want you in SCA because I want you to be on these badass teams. I want you to represent the SuperCloser brand, right? And I want to have a phenomenal experience with that client because then they get to nominate and refer all of their friends to SuperCloser. It's a win-win. Okay, so I'm being a little businessy on the back end of this, but up front, I literally want to change your life and give you opportunities to do that. So that's what we've got for you. Go ahead and click his link below. It'll take you right to his landing page. Nothing funny there. And you'll be able to pick up his course. And then send me the receipt, screenshot it, and I'll get you into SCA on me forever for free. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the replay. Love that you're here. Love that you invest in your own learning and just taking your expertise to the next level. And I cannot wait to continue to play with you in bigger and bigger ways from here on out. Okay, take care, and we'll see you on the next video.